Hi there everyone, I'm Local Iridium, and somebody once told me I shouldn't have eaten that squirrel. Welcome to my outhouse. Okay, this is where I'm doing my vlog today, mainly because I'm quite busy in here. The reason being is since we are going to be moving home, I've decided that it's about time to get rid of a load of crap. And what better place to start than in my outhouse? The one thing I've noticed though is that over the time that we've moved home, that we do collect quite a lot of crap. And so at which time do we decide, okay, enough's enough, why should we keep that little thing that does the thing with the phone line, but we don't need it because we don't have that type of internet. Okay, so what's been happening this week? As you've probably noticed, I haven't actually written anything this week in the blog. The reason being is that I started to realise that I wasn't actually writing about anything apart from working, sleeping and drinking lots of caffeine. You see, January has been quite a difficult month, as in a lot of debt has been repaid and we're struggling just to get the rent together. So realistically, it's just one of those months where you go to work, you come home and you go back to sleep again, in preparation to go to work again. I suppose it's not too bad if you love your job, because you don't have to worry about wasting your time at a place you don't like just to pay those bills in order for you to go back to bed. In my case, I don't actually mind my job. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my ideal career, but I don't feel that miserable getting up and going to work. At least the bills are paid. Reassessing finances this week has made us realise that we had to budget shop. Now, we spent several hours walking around the supermarket trying to work out what we could buy for about £10. And I don't mean just one object, I actually mean a whole week's worth of shopping in £10. Now, is that possible? Unless you fancy beans on toast for 5 days a week, you could actually budget shop on a £5. But overall, we spent about £25, but also take into consideration that included cat litter and cat food. Those greedy animals. The main thing that happened this week is that we had a meeting with a mortgage advisor. He gave us all the advice that we required in order to get a mortgage. The one thing that went against me is because I'm contracted part-time hours, yet for the past 2 years, I've been working more than 36 hours a week. Up to a maximum of 70 hours a week. It still has gone against me because the mortgage can only be done against the first contracted set of hours. Okay, there is some leniency against the overtime that can do, but because it's not guaranteed, it majorly goes against the ability to get a higher mortgage. Luckily though, after a bit of discussion and working things out, it is possible for us to get a mortgage. The only thing now to worry about is the credit score. Now, this is an age-old story. As most of you will understand, the credit check is one of the worst things on this planet. It belittles you into a 3-figure sum, which tells other people whether you are good or bad with finances. Now, when I was a student, I was incredibly bad with finances, but then again, who isn't? I think I know about 2 people out of 10,000 students who are actually quite anal with money. The rest of us thought, is the bar open? Now, we all make errors in our past, but do I really need to be scarred for it for 6 years? Over time, I've battled with the idea that I don't care about my credit score and the fact that I want to get it over 900 points. So in order to stop myself from scarring my credit score, I've sent off for the £2 credit report. Now, this is one thing that a lot of companies like Equifax and Experian don't tell you about. You can actually legally apply to get your credit score for the cost of £2 and not for the $14.99 that they do advertise. The other thing that Equifax and Experian and the other credit companies alike don't mention is that when you sign up for the $14.99 online account, you're applying to see your own credit file the same way in which creditors will see your credit file. This means that as you apply, and each time you apply, you will scar your credit even more. So the safest option is to apply for the £2 credit check, as it does not affect your credit score. You can also add appendices to your credit file, so if the scar on your credit file is not your fault, you can also add a reason to why this happened. If you ask the creditor to apply for your credit manually, they can look through your file and find out the reasons why you have poor credit and you're not trusted. So with my rant over, we are applying for a mortgage. So hopefully this place that we're going to get is going to be habitable. I'm not fussed about the area that we live in as long as that we're on the housing market. The advantage of moving to our own property is going to cost less than half than what it does at our current property. It doesn't necessarily mean that Sarah can get any more pets. So overall, I'm quite excited about moving to our own property. It's something that a lot of people do in their early 20s, and yet I'm in my late 20s and I'm just getting to this point of starting to grow up. Well, it feels like growing up, especially when you start talking to people about mortgages and interest rates. After a very hectic week of working over 60 hours again, finally found the time to sit down and watch another movie with Sarah. This week it's not necessarily a movie but a stand-up. It was Frankie Boyle's latest stand-up. There were many times during that performance that I had to wince. It's definitely worth a watch unless you are easily offended, in which case you'll be happy to watch something like Harry Hill's stand-up. Another great thing is that my band has finally decided that we're going to start practicing again. We're supposed to practice this Sunday, but something's come up unfortunately. It would be nice to get back and play our music again since we haven't practiced in over 2 months. This is due to Christmas, holidays and working constantly. The one thing we've realised though is that we're going to find a new place to practice since we'll be moving out of this property. We tend to use my second bedroom as the practice room. I think we're determined this year to make sure that we go on stage. Now the band has been together since 2002 and we've been on stage twice, but during that period we have gone through several members of the band and also 3 years was taken out whilst I was at university. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. As you can hear, there's a loud noise in the background. That's actually my washing machine and it's surrounded by towels. And why is this? Well, over the winter period, the pipes kind of froze up and something inside the washing machine is starting to drip. Now, I'm no DIY expert, so I don't know what's going on. So in the meantime, I've surrounded by towels just so we can get our clothes washed. And it gives me the perfect excuse to stay in here and do some tidying up.